Alrighty, so I don't got no light right now. It's dead, so we're just gonna have to go with natural light. But we're gonna be using Ludmilla against the train, and I think this is gonna be very important for a lot of people to see, because obviously Ludmilla, don't get me wrong, she's a very good character, and definitely in her best situation, she's a candidate for the hardest hitting character in the game. I think people already tested it, and that's just a conclusion at this point, but a lot of people don't like me saying that, obviously with Red Hood coming out like a month ago. So hey, we're just gonna say she's a candidate for, you know, hardest hitting character in the game when she's fully how do I word this? What I just worded it, fully, like everything is active. But in today's video, we're gonna be using her against the train, and the one thing about the train is that the train doesn't really have a core, and I think her damage not necessarily comes from the core, but by losing the damage from the core, sorry if I get darker and lighter as it goes, right? But if we lose the damage from the core, I feel like she's gonna lose a lot of damage output, and that's one thing that people are not really talking about. That's one thing people are not really showing, right? Just with the good of the character, we always got to show the bad as well. Now, it's not necessarily bad, it's just not as great as it would be if she was fully, you know, worked on, or like fully everything is activated, obviously. But I do think, obviously, I'm gonna be running this same team. Don't drag it, please, because I can't run another team right now with her and other thing. I mean, I could try it, but I just want to show you guys like her damage difference from not having core with this main team to beat the train, right? So this is not like, oh, we're just slapping her with meta characters, boom. I just want to show you guys how much damage loss she has from, you know, essentially just not attacking the train, right? So boom. Right, Red Hood is using her burst skill. We're not using her burst skill. We could use her burst skill for more damage, but we do need Red Hood's burst skill essentially, just so that we can break these turrets in time. Right, but her damage still is obviously, it's helping, right? Don't get me wrong, her damage is still helping, right? It's only 5 million, right? It is only 5 million, but it is helping. But you can see if we can get her burst skill active, or at least activated now. Let me just see if we can. Okay, boom, let's get rid of some of these turns. Okay, now we have her burst skill, and now she has like the reload speed buff, she has the attack buff and all that stuff, right? So you guys are gonna see reload speed is looking pretty good. It's faster than what it usually is, right? And then she, oh, please don't die, and we lost her. It's fine. I think we're still gonna be able to beat it just because Red Hood ended up getting everything literally, right? But boom, right? I mean, obviously with a team like this, you're going to be trained regardless. Realistically, train is just not a hard boss at all. With all the characters that dropped, train is not a hard boss. But you guys can see there, like half the damage of Red Hood, which is funny because when it comes to bosses with core, and I wish I could show you guys, but I can't because I didn't record it for Modernia, at least not with Red Hood. But when you go against characters with core, enemies with core, Ludmilla is hitting harder than Red Hood. But when you're not fighting an enemy with the core, she's hitting far less than Red Hood, right? She's averaging same thing as Dorothy here, damn near the same. So that's a massive, that's what I'm trying to say. You lose a boatload of damage from not fighting a character or an enemy with core. Is that a problem? Not necessarily, because I feel like a lot of the enemies have cores in this game, right? In terms of bosses, damn near all of them have core besides probably Train, or Train probably has a core too. I just probably wasn't attacking it. But characters like Gravedigger, for example, Gravedigger has a core, but it's just not something that's going to be consistent because Gravedigger moves around all the time. Blacksmith has core, Chatterbox has core, Modernia has core, but it's a very small and limited time, because it's like when you break the core, she no longer has a core. So and then all the other bosses probably have cores. If I'm really thinking about it, I think Nihilister has a core. I think the Mace has a core. Kraken, probably not, haven't had too much experience with Kraken. But yeah, like essentially that's the whole point of this, right? She can beat Train if you run a team like this, but realistically she doesn't need to be there. Let's see, actually try her with Train without like having like someone like Red Hood carry, right? I still want to run someone like A2 or something like that just to handle the parts efficiently. You can run the same team. It's actually hot. I don't like having the lights on because it gets very hot. But let's see. So this is no longer Red Hood, right? This is no longer just massive damage and stuff like that. This is A2 with Ludmilla, right? Ludmilla's kind of acting as a replacement for Modernia here. But even in a general sense, Modernia, again, without the core will still hit harder, right? That's what I'm trying to basically say. Even Modernia with the cores will still, or without the cores will still hit harder. That's the whole point of it. So, yeah. Even here, boom, break these, and you have A2, definitely use her for the train. She's a very, very good character for the train. Boom. So far, who's hitting harder between these two? Probably, yeah. But Ludmilla is very close, right? There's a massive difference from obviously A2 and Red Hood. And Red Hood, after her first burst rotation, was already at 21 million. A2's at 13 million. Ludmilla's at 7 million. So, again, this is a good way to show you guys, right? I don't want to keep showing Ludmilla just fighting cores, and everybody believing she really is, like, all that. If I'm going off of, like, best situation, which is, like, again, it's like fighting an enemy with a core is common, right? I'm not gonna drag it and say it's not common. Fighting an enemy with a core is actually common, right? But even in situations like this where enemies don't have cores, you can see, right? She's not gonna outperform some of these characters, right? She's not gonna outperform a lot of these characters, right? She's still gonna do good damage, right? Like 17 million is still good damage, but she's not gonna outperform these like other good DPS characters who actually don't necessarily need the core to do damage, right? And not to mention, if you run her with Naga and Tia, especially if you run her with Naga and Tia and the enemy has a core, you're gonna see a massive jump because of the core damage already on top of her stuff. It's quite crazy with Ludmilla and the enemy with a core. But more of the story, Ludmilla without core is not handling it. I'm gonna try once to do a team that's not like meta heavy. Probably when it comes to train, you do need a meta heavy team though. But I'm gonna try to like take out some of these characters and try something else. So this team is still essentially meta heavy in terms of Litter, you know, everybody besides Summer Neon. But I guess with this team, this will be a good enough team to show you guys that even with all these characters who are helping out her damage heavily, without attacking the core, she's not really going to be doing that much, right? Because Neon is not going to be doing damage. So you're kind of relying on, like Ludmilla, you're relying on Ludmilla to do the insane damage here. But I doubt she's going to be able to do it, again, just because of the situation we're in here. So I'm going to show you guys right here. Bop, 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 bop. She's actually breaking it quite fast, though. I'm not going to lie, right? She did break that quite fast. Like, I don't know if there is a core. Okay, she's going to break that in time, hopefully. Yep. Break this in time, hopefully. Okay, so it glitched there. We got lucky. It glitched there. When you do use her burst skill, she actually is able to do it, though, surprisingly. Right, when you use her burst skill and everything is working, she's going to be able to do it. If this doesn't kill it. Okay, she died. So, I mean, her damage was good, but if Noir, let me put it like this. If Noir is at 7 million, and my Noir is invested, right? So we could give her that if you really want to. But if my Noir is doing 7 million and Ludmilla is doing 12 million, that's a problem, right? Not necessarily a problem, but it's like, it shows that without the core, it's because Noir doesn't really hit like that, if you want me to be honest. Like, Noir is an attacker like that. She is an attacker and all that stuff, but she doesn't hit like that. Noir's main purpose realistically is to support, even though she's an attacker, right? Because the only time you use her, like, you get damage from her is if you use her burst skill. And that's the AoE, and it's still not insanely big. So, yeah, we could probably do it, right? If I had much more ammo, probably would still be able to beat the train with this exact same comp, realistically. We could retry the thing there, right? But yeah, no, if we had like more ammo, we definitely could probably train with this same team. But like, you can kind of see damage ain't looking that crazy. That's the more of the story, essentially. I'm gonna try my best to get damage on these. Okay, we break this in time before it goes off. No, we cannot. It's fine. Okay, get there. So boom. Oh, okay, good. Blanc ended up saving Litter there, but yeah, so boom. Once you beat the first stage, it is easy. So you can use Ludmilla if you need to, but then again, it's like bunny girls are here. You got do we break this in time? Yes, we can. Right. I've never actually got into the train like this before. Okay. Like where we broke the turret and then it was doing something else. But yeah. Okay. You just gotta break this first time. Can I? What? Ah. This is not good, yeah. So it's just a mess, but the damage is still obviously gonna come mostly from Ludmilla, common sense. But like it's just not like without the core. If we had the core hits, it would be a lot easier because more damage is being produced, of course. So that's the moral of the story of the video, right? Hopefully you guys, I know you guys can't really see me, but let me go to a white screen in the game so y'all can see me. Alrighty, so now we got a white screen here. But yeah, hopefully that helped you guys really understand. Not trying to say Ludmilla's a bad character, but it's like I want you guys to see that as well, right? There's situations in the game where you're not going to be fighting enemies with core. That's what you get from Ludmilla if she doesn't fight a core. That's the whole moral of the story, or the moral of the video. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I was just playing wrong and then there is a core for the train. I don't know. I didn't see anything and I was attacking everywhere. So I don't know. You guys let me know. Still a very good character. Again, in her best situation, that's what I've been trying to say this whole video. In her best situation, still definitely a contender for a hardest hitting character. But in a situation like that, yeah, her damage is like, it's not bad. It's just massively drops from what it could be. So you guys let me know what you think. It's your boy Zxous, and I'm out. Peace. Oh, and Amazing God on Brawlhalla.